Hey man,
Hey, what's up?
how are you?
Good.
Nice. I didn't actually realize you were already in the chat for a while. I
Oh,
literally
okay.
said hi to you, and I was like, well, wait, did I just say hi to Matt? I was like, yeah. Very smart.
Cool.
Anyway, man, I had a quick look at your GG tracker yesterday, and you had some good wins right there. That's so good.
It's coming along. It's been good.
Did you make any notable progress, or like something you noticed yourself, or?
Yeah, the ZVZ transitions have been a lot better. And when I do screw up, it's easier to know why. Like I'm figuring it out better. So it's been good.
All right.
I got beta a few days ago, so I haven't played a whole lot of Heart of the Swarm, a little bit, but I played a lot of beta the last couple days.
Okay. We can do Legacy of the Void beta or coaching as well, if you would like. It's up to you. It's just a little bit trickier to find opponents to play against, and the strategies are not as mapped out yet, but...
It honestly doesn't matter to me. It probably depends on who we can find to play. We did Zerg last week, so we need like Diamond or Low Masters, Tosser, or Terran.
Yeah, that's kind of the main thing. If there's any diamond level Protosses or Terrans or whatever online right now on stream, and I know there are, um, feel free to join group LowkoTV on EU. I don't know if W Dux is here today. He may be lurking. But yeah, I'm right here in the group. Oh, you're already in there as well. Cool.
Oh, in A.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's on the North American server. I don't know if I mentioned that, but... yeah, so I was just looking at your GG tracker real quick, and it's actually a 70% win rate. It's actually kind of funny that your APM recently has been 20 higher as well. I don't know exactly how recent that is, but the APM apparently has been climbing, which is cool.
Yeah. So it's getting there, little by little.
Nice. Yeah, it's looking pretty solid. Okay, cool. Your
I
platinum?
really, yeah,
Sorry?
I really hope that we can find some Protoss. Like I will do Terran, but Terran I
Mm-hmm.
feel I have a lot more figured out than Protoss. Protoss I really don't. I usually go like Roach Hydra or something or another, but I'm not very confident in my decision making versus Protoss.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, obviously we're already at a pretty high level right now, so it may be better to have like mainly looking at replays and whatnot, because you know, direct playstyle may not, you know, it's mainly just decision making and whatnot that's really relevant. But we'll see. Like, I don't know if you have any good replays saved up yourself that you want me to look at.
Let's see. It was when the last couple days have been silly. I got four gated twice in a row and lost last night. I came
Oh
home from
man.
the bar and was like, I'm going to play some StarCraft and two games. I'm done.
Someone else came home from the bar as well, and they're like, "I'll just forget some news."
Yeah, pretty much.
You actually still have a pretty solid all-round win rate. I actually like to see though that you have a couple more percentages in ZVZ. That's fair enough.
It's up a little. Like I said, I haven't played a huge amount of games this week in
Hmm.
Heart of the Swarm the last couple days, so it's not going to be too
Yeah,
much.
fair enough.
I don't see. I don't know. I don't have very many. Let's see. There's a 26-minute game from Iron Fortress like a week ago.
All right. It's actually funny. If you look at your statistics, you have 92 games against Protoss in total, and then like 141 versus Terran, 149 versus Zerg. So you have like significantly less games against Protoss somehow.
Yeah, there's just not very many.
Huh. That's kind of funny. For the most part, seems to be the other way around for most people. All right. All right, yeah, so if there's any diamond level Protosses online right now, you can join group LowkoTV on the North American server. It'd be really cool if you would like to help us out. Diamond or Masters. I'm sure there's one of you guys, but you might be watching like the WCS or something. But if you want to help us out, feel free to join the group, and I'll invite you into a party. We could play a game or two. Or three. So yeah, last week we mostly talked about transitions in Zerg for the Zerg. Yeah. So it wasn't so much macro or anything that was going wrong. It was just mostly,
What do I do when?
yeah, like strategic decisions. It's maybe the same thing in Zerg vs Protoss, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised at the very least. Like there's some tech switches right there that are kind of tricky and harder to figure out in ZVZ. Like in ZVZ, you can do it mostly by feeling, I suppose, and like sort of just you know, do it when you move out and stuff. But in Zerg vs. Pro, it's a lot more about scouting. We can have a look.
And it's a little bit of a lack of scouting, I think, one, and then just knowing when to do the big tech switches, like when we're going from like a ground army to a spire switch, or especially I know I'll see some guys like transition from a ranged army to a melee later in the game, but I always get confused on how I should be taking my upgrades in those situations. Like I feel like I get shoehorned. I've been putting so much into range, I don't want to switch out, and I end up not making what I should.
Okay, yeah, I completely understand what you mean with that. In Zerg vs. Protoss in Legacy of the Void, that is super common. Because like Ultralisk are nearly unstoppable, and so are Zerglings. So people are like upgrading melee, but actually going Roach Hydra mid-game until late game. Obviously, they don't really use the upgrades. In Art of the Swarm, it's a little bit less common, but we can talk about the switches. The name of that... okay, yeah, I can just download it like that.
There's a ZVP.
Oh yeah, alright. Yeah, if you could give me the party leaf back, that works as well. The website is called GG Tracker. You can upload all of your replays there, and basically it analyzes them for you. I don't know if it works for Legacy of the Void, but... Okay. Okay, I think it's this one right here. Actually, no, I deleted the wrong replay. Wait, what? Let's gonna delete all of these. Trying to add it to the folder right there, but there we go. Cool. All right, so let's have a look. You are Diamond? Cool. Yeah, Gamers GR1. If you could join Group LowkoTV, that'd be cool. I sent you a party invite. Anywhere from like high platinum to masters would work. It's just to have an opponent to play against. All right. So what do you usually do as EVP? Can you give me like a run through of what usually your go-to strategy is?
Yeah, usually pull first, just because of cannon rushes to do that, and then I'll go into roaches, some sort of like +1 or +1/1 roach or roach hydra timing or something like that. But I don't really have a good solid plan. Like sometimes I take Zergling speed, sometimes I don't, and I don't really have a reason for either decision. Like I really need to get kind of a strategy more hammered down, like what I've got with ZVZ now. Like I have a set thing, I know what I need to be doing. Protoss is more of a, it's not as set as it should be.
Okay.
So basically range, like Roach Hydra something or another, but not much besides that. There's not much of a plan besides that much.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so generally speaking, in Zerg vs. Protoss, yeah, obviously Roach Hydra is the standard mid-game play. Early on, most of the decisions that you make should be depending on what they go for. So let's say they go for a very quick Nexus and, you know, you go for a very quick third base, but if they go for, you know, Gateway Expo or something like that, usually you want to take Zergling speed. But yeah, we can talk about that. So generally speaking, it's like Roach Hydra play in the mid-game, I suppose, and then what do you usually switch to late game? Do you have like...
That's a really bad part of my play too. I have a really bad tendency of getting stuck on Roach Hydra, like getting stuck on mid-game tech, or like I'll add in Vipers. But besides that, like if I'm going to make another tech switch there, I'm really bad at that, of like knowing what I should switch to. And it usually ends up being half-assed, to be honest with you. Like it's not very good.
Okay.
That's when I'm really starting to get screwed up.
All right. Let's have a look. Cool. Yeah, so it's not like your win rate is awful with it. So you've been on the right track.
I think I'm just getting through with halfway decent macro and like hitting a okay timing at some point in the mid game is what usually happens. This game, I have no idea what happened. I don't remember it. It was like a week ago, I think. So
yeah, that's the 23rd. It's about a week ago. But that's okay. Just to have like a general idea of what's happening. But it sounds exactly like pretty much the same thing you had in Zerg vs. Zerg, where you weren't completely confident in switches and like the plan that you're supposed to have.
Yep, pretty much. And it's sort of similar with Terran, although I have a little bit better idea with them. Like macros, it's easy to figure out when macro is screwed up. I know how to fix that, but the decision making, I don't.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so generally speaking, when you see something like this, you could definitely go for a third base a little faster. It obviously depends on the strategy you like to play, but generally speaking, like if they go for Nexus first, you can totally go for a much faster expansion yourself. It depends though on what timing you're trying to hit. I think you're gonna go for like a roach timing right here.
Let's see. I didn't forget the roach one like I do in ZVZ. That's good.
So the one thing I'm kind of missing here, which makes it pretty hard to decide what you're going for, is an Overlord Scout. I think you're moving it in right now, actually, with that with Overlord right there. Yeah, you're actually flying it in right now. It's just a little bit later. Usually you would see it around 6.5 at latest.
Okay.
Which gives you like a little bit more time to prepare against like Stargate play and things like that. So I would, generally speaking, try and fly that in a little earlier. I'm glad you're doing it though.
I just am now scouting his third base too. I had no idea that was up, and it's fairly saturated too. So I was kind of blind for this game.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of bad.
Yeah. So from here on out, it's already very difficult to do anything. Yeah. So you're flying it in right there. Well, that's honestly also a really weird expansion to take because he's expanding towards you. But
I know. I didn't expect it. Like I thought it'd be in the upper one, but
yeah. Yeah, actually, I didn't even realize it myself either. So generally speaking, the first things I guess I can notice right off the bat is like if you go against someone that goes for a super quick Nexus, right? Which is scouted really well. You can take the third base right away, like immediately, and then you can also skip out things like Zerking speed and delay the gases a whole bunch as well, just to get that base saturated and up and going pretty much.
Okay, so that's your general like to take or not to take like an early gas or Zergling speed is like the gateway expand. Like if it's a 4-inch fast expand or a Nexus first or something like that, skip the Zergling speed and take a quick third base.
Exactly. What you're doing right here is perfect against gateway expand, but I think it's a bit too safe against a Nexus first or whatever it was that he did.
Basically, letting him get away with being greedy.
Yeah.
And that's no good.
Yeah, obviously if you would go for that base, you can even just kill that with slow Zerglings. Like, we can go to the point where he took that thing. He probably didn't have anything. He probably didn't even have a unit. He's like stupid greedy. I'm assuming he maybe have had like a mothership core. If that. But yeah, generally speaking, so if you're up against someone that goes for Force Fast Expand, you can get away with 6-minute double gas instead of 5-minute double gas, which just give you a lot more time.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's going for it right now off of 2 Zealots. Like, it's already done at 2 Zealots. Anyway, I'll write it down as well in the meantime, so we don't forget it. So basically, you split up your build, or you decide your build depending on what they go for. If they go Gateway Expand, you know, Zerking speed, gas at 5 minutes, those kind of things. If they go Forge Fast Expand or Nexus first, go for third base immediately. Skip link speed and double gas at 6. So it's basically just a bunch greedier, and the idea behind that is if you go for if they go for a Nexus first or a gateway or a Force Fast Expand, they will not have any units until like 8 minutes. They will literally just sit there with a mothership core or cannon and maybe a sentry or something and a zealot, but that's gonna be it. Like they won't have anything until like 8 to 9 minutes. Except for maybe a Phoenix or 2. That could really bother you. So, for the most part, you can get away with just non-stop droning and, you know, slowly tacking up.
And I like the playstyle gasless. Like, I'd like to go gasless if I could, just because I like the extra queens. So if something like a Phoenix or an Oracle or something like that pops up, it's super easy to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like Mothership Core, Stalker Pressure, or something like that. If you've got 3 queens, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. SBB Blake, if you are a diamond level Protoss, by all means join the group and I'll invite you into the game afterwards. That'd be really cool.
So are you saying on the notes, if they go Gateway Expand, you would get double gas at 5 minutes, take Zergling speed first, and then a layer? Like you could still open up gasless though in that situation?
You could. I would. Yeah, it depends on what you scouted with that Overlord. You know, if you take the Zergling speed or you just go straight for a lair.
And would you take, like, is there any situation that would prompt you to take the single early gas, like do more of like a pool hatch gas sort of thing?
I
Or
generally
just
actually do that against gateway expense. It's also possible to play gasless though. It's just that it's a bit easier if they go for a quick greedy third base to cancel tanks like that. But that's really like a decision that you make. Like if you go for gasless and you get the double gas at 5 minutes, bases like this is hard to stop. But you don't really see it too often. So most people will go for like a 15 pool, 17 hatch or whatever, and then 17 gas, something like that. Just to like get that early zerking speed out. You can give that a try as well and just see whatever you prefer. But
okay.
yeah, if you say that you prefer gasless openers instead, they're definitely viable.
But that's it. But doing, you can do gasless against both of them, and it would just be, so the gateway expand. You've got like a 5 minute double gas, or if it's a forge fast or whatnot, you can take the double gas at like 6 minutes, and you're okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool, cool.
I love the fact if they like I love it when they open up Forge Fast Expand, because at that point it's just completely decided by your macro. It's nice because you can basically make all of the drones that you would want. And just do scouting and just, you know, get away with as greedy as possible as a player. And that just shows you, I guess, the stronger player in macro, and that's always like it's always nice. But yeah, so generally speaking, versus Gateway Expand 5 minute double gas if you want to play gasless, versus Forge Fast Expand or Nexus first, go for a third base instead, and then 6 minute double gas.
Cool, good deal.
I think you would already have like a lot more units at that point, where, you know, the game is actually decided. Yeah, so you skip out zerking speed completely in this game, right? Or did you already get it actually? No, yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so this is basically the exact same build as in ZVZ, right? It's just that you had these drones, you could have had the drones a couple minutes before. Yeah, so him having the third base is obviously already basically putting on even economy since the beginning of the game. It's always going to be very difficult to do anything about. So generally speaking, if you're not completely sure what he's up to, and the reason why I'm saying that, by the way, is because I feel like the Hive is a little late. Like you haven't really scouted what is going on. It could have had Colossus already. So generally speaking, if you aren't completely sure what is going on, you can go for an infestation pit at like 10 minutes and then tack up straight to a Hive. Which will at the very least, like, you know, stop like 4 Colossus or 3 Colossus timing attacks, which you can easily do off of this. Because right now, like, he could have done a timing attack if he would have skipped that third or that fourth base. Like if he would have skipped that, he could have done like a triple Colossus timing push, and you would have like gotten absolutely decimated with a Roach Hydra army.
The scouting in general is pretty bad this game. It's not good. I don't think I have.
No, you haven't seen this one either.
Yeah, I don't have any Overseers morphed yet, which is bad.
Yeah, so it's just a couple minor things really. But if you're like like I said, you know, like you can totally go for basically without, well, you know, there's no reason not to scout his fourth base, but you don't really need to scout his bases around this time anymore. You can just go and go for an infestation pit at 10 minutes and just tack straight to a Hive, and you're always going to be safe. And that's like, it's pretty early, but it's at least like better than dying to Colossus timing attacks if you're not sure what is going on, you know?
Okay.
So if not sure, go for 10 minutes infestation pit, and then Hive, and then Vipers. It's just a bit of a faster transition. But yeah, honestly, this game was already difficult to play at like the 2-minute mark because he got that third up and going.
Yeah, I'm pretty much behind.
Yeah.
Behind. And I'm only... He's up to 80 probes, 78 probes right now.
Yeah, he has a massive army. I guess technically Swarm Host could work, but... Yeah, so here's the problem, right? Like, basically, you always try and deny a Protoss from ever maxing out. And because he's got that big ass economy up, it's just not possible to really attack into him. So he's gonna max out, and then it's just pretty much game over. Oh, you're actually getting the Flying Locust upgrade. Wow. Cool.
Yeah, this is a point. I've got double Spire going down, 3/3 upgrades. Like, I'm not really sure. And the Locust upgrade at the same time. Like, it seems like I'm just kind of taking a bit of everything because I don't really know what I should be doing. Like, at this point, I'm lost. I'm like, shit, he's got a huge army. And I'm on Roach Hydra, and I don't know what to do. I don't know, like, what I should be doing. But like you said, I'm kind of coming from a behind position already.
Yeah. I honestly think that's the main thing. Just him having that massive economy up early on, it's just already almost game ending. I mean, it's like a very long death animation, you know? Like, you basically hang it on, but you're always going to be at even economy, which sucks against Protoss.
Yeah, I think that's what happens with this. Like, it just slowly get whittled down. He takes a base here, a base there, and it's done.
Yeah. I do like the fact you're going for the, or at least I'm assuming that's going to be for Brute Lords or for a Muta switch or whatever.
Yeah, I like that. When I happen to pull it off, when I pull the Muta switch off, it works really well. Like, when I'm able to keep the gas banked up and whatnot. But, like, in this case, I feel like I can't bank the gas because I have to build an army or I'm dead right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is good as like a switch after you kill his army. But then, you know, killing his army is obviously going to be the difficult part. So, yeah, Roach Hydra Viper is definitely the correct choice here. It's just that he already has such a big army that
it's 18 minutes in the game. Like, it's way too late.
Yeah. Yeah, the Vipers were definitely a little late in general, so that's why I mentioned the 10-minute infestation pit if you're not completely sure.
I guess I get stuck in this middle ground between, do I play aggressive or when do I need to play, or I'm sorry, I get stuck between, do I need to play defensive or do I need to play greedy with Protoss? Because I'm never sure. I guess back to scouting, like, am I about to get 4-gated or you have like a 5 or 7 gate all in and be done? Or are they doing something like this where I need to be playing super greedy and just making drones? And I get kind of stuck between, that middle ground between sort of making units and sort of making drones, and then you kind of both are shit.
Okay, yeah. So generally speaking, right, if it was like a super normal game, you would usually push out with a Roach timing attack or like a Hydra timing attack. So that would be like your first move out, right? That's with +1/+1 or Hydra, what is it? Hydra ranged and Zergling speed, you know, things like that, where you actually push out at that moment. And the idea of that is that you either like cancel his third base, or you at the very least trade army. And the idea behind trading army is that you already have a bigger economy up than him, because you have 3 bases and he got 2 bases. And then trading army is obviously going to be in your benefit because you will be able to rebuild faster. So generally speaking, all of the timings pushes that you do are just meant to basically not allow the Protoss to max out. Like, if you max out, it's difficult to play Roach Hydra. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to wait. I got myself that I needed to be at 200 before I attacked into him, and that's not necessarily the case. Like, the timings come before that.
Yes. It's like the same in Zerg vs. Zerg, you know, where you push out with +1/+1. And the same goes for like when 2/2 comes out. And then your third timing would not so much be like an upgrade. So your first timing would be +1/+1 roaches or +1/+1 Hydra Ling or something like that, right? Second timing would be +2/+2. And then the third timing would generally be when you have, a couple Vipers out with energy. At which point, like, you can just abduct the Colossus and win the game. So usually you just play a little bit more aggressive. So you try and get away with as many drones early on as possible. And then you transition into a timing attack like we just talked about. And then you can usually like drone up a little more, and then you can transition to that timing attack again.
Do you like +1/+1 roaches or +1 Hydraling better? Or does it matter?
I like Hydraling way better.
Can you? That's something we could do, because I'm shitty at that. That's another one of those situations. Hydraling, I don't know what upgrades I should be taking when, and then like the issue when I get the Ling speed. So I know of Hydraling in concept, but I'm really bad at executing it.
Okay.
And I would like to learn that, because that style is more attractive to me than just roaches. Because just the mothership or by itself, it would be nice to have something that can poke it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like it a lot better because it's stronger all around. It's just scary against like big timing attacks that they can do with like zealots and stuff. So I usually still end up getting a roach warren anyway,
Okay.
even if I don't plan on making roaches at that moment. But it's basically the same thing. If you go off of, okay, so there's one assumption though. That's only really true if you get the third base up and going early enough. So usually if I go Hydra Ling, it's gonna be off of 3 bases. If I go for roaches, it's usually off of 2 bases mainly. So in this situation, like you were doing here, I probably would have gone for 2 as well, or for roaches as well. But if, let's say, you would have followed this up with like the 6-minute double gas like we talked about, and then the quicker third base, you could have gotten away with the mass Hydra.
Okay.
So the reason for that is if you are going for double evolution chamber and you're on 2 bases, right? And you have 4 gas geysers, you just simply can't really afford Hydras very easily. Usually you need at least like 5 gas.
Yeah.
But yeah, so generally speaking, like this game was pretty well played. It was just already sort of over when he got the third base up and going.
Yeah.
Which just sucks.
It was just slow, and like it was just a long,
yeah,
death animation, like you said.
You're basically hanging on since the 4-minute mark. Oh, my computer is not enjoying this replay. Oh, there we go. Cool. Yeah, and that just comes down from scouting. So, what else did I write down? Oh yeah, so 6-minute double gas. Or 6-minute double gas. 6-minute to 6:30 overload scout. But yeah, this game may not be the best example because of that. But
yeah, I didn't know what this was. So it had been a while. I don't have that many. Like you saw the statistics page, I don't have that many Protoss opponents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for some reason. There's actually no diamond level Protosses online right now. That's kind of annoying. Can have a quick look at it in general chat or something like that. I can throw a tweet out there. Yeah, I'll just tweet about it real quick. So, looking for a diamond level Protoss for coaching.
While we're waiting, I've got, I just uploaded, I have a few, actually a couple Protoss games from just a couple minutes ago, and then last night we could look at those. Those were both like just early timings, and it's going to be scouting, I think, but we could look at that while we're waiting.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure they're fairly simple. It's same thing like this one. We could look at the whole game, but the first 2 minutes are going to tell us what was wrong.
Okay, yeah, we can have a look. Alright, so looking for a high platinum diamond masters level Protoss for a game or 2 for coaching. Join group North America. Cool. Alright, yeah. That'd be cool if someone could join in. Once again, if someone entered from the chat is oh, okay, we got Drone Rush. He says I'm diamond-ish Toss.
Cool.
Alright, we can just play a game against him and see what happens. We may have like someone else join in a little bit. But we'll see. What does diamond-ish mean, Drone Rush? We'll take it. Alright. I'll just ask him to play a style, and then you can just, go ahead and go for that. Alright.
Really, any style works.
Yeah, I'm just asking if he wants to go for that that quick Forge Fast Expander Nexus first, so you can practice that 3-base base play.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a different mindset, but it's really nice. I like it a lot better. And it's really common as well, like Nexus first Forge Fast Expand is like half of the games, I would say.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I see it a bunch.
Alright, so let's just give it a try. So we'll just pretend he doesn't, don't know that he's going for that. Alright, we should be good. Alright.
Alright, here we go, boys.
So basically, I don't know if you ever watched like the good old Stefano Wings of Liberty days where he was playing Mass Roach. You know that one?
Nope, I didn't start playing so hard this form. I didn't play these days.
Yeah, so basically, that quick 3-base play was something that only Stefano did back then. And he would like respond to Nexus first or fourth fast expand by going for a quick 3rd base. And Protoss were like, well, what the fuck do I do now against that massive economy? And he was basically doing +1/+1 Roach timing attacks off of that with Roach speed, and it was absolutely unstoppable. At least, you know, until people figured out Immortals were very good. So it's basically still the same build order as it was in like 2011. Something silly like that. Yeah, so basically the first Overlord, you send that to the natural to try and figure out whether or not they go for that natural.
Like, okay.
And then you can decide whether or not you want to go for the expansion. Yeah, or you can drone scout, that works as well.
If I drone scout, can I send the Overlord, like... It would be my instinct to send it here to check the gases.
Yep. Yeah, I usually don't go drone scout, but you're right. People are saying they like the rhythm of the clicking. Yeah, it's good. Alright. Alright, so just watch him get the Nexus, or, well, not get the Nexus. Alright. Alright, so if you check back at the natural right now, you'd usually be able to figure out. And then the idea is that you... Oh, he's gonna get the Nexus, obviously. We already know that. So the idea here is now that you basically get a queen, a set of Zerglings, and then once the Zerglings spawn, you send them to your 3rd base and send a drone after them. So you basically shoo away any kind of scout that is there, and also deny him the scouting of the 3rd base. See what I mean?
Okay, queen, set of Zerglings to shoo the Zerg or the probe away.
Yep. And then go for the 3rd base. Exactly. Yeah, so usually we try and hide that from the probe or whatever.
Yeah. But that's the timing of it, though. Pretty much immediately we're going for a 3rd.
Yeah, exactly. Like around 4-ish minutes.
Okay.
So right now this is actually really annoying for Protoss. He doesn't know if this is now a fake or not. You could totally go for a Roach all-in, and Protoss is like are freaking out because of that. So you can go for the next queen immediately, and then walk this guy for the natural. Okay, so these are also the gases you can expect.
Guess is about the same time, 4 minutes.
Yep. We can go over scouting or whatnot after this one. I'll just do it for you this game for the most part. Just focus on like the build mainly.
Okay.
Alright, so we just want to get a lot of drones here, as many as possible. So the idea behind this is that you know he's not going to be able to make anything, but just leave the Zerglings right there, and if you see like multiple Zalots move out, you can just respond then. Alright, so next up, you can actually make a queen in the natural, and then creep tumor with the queen from the natural to the 3rd. So with the next energy. Usually inject once in the main, then once in the natural, and then creep tumor to the 3rd.
Okay. That's something else I haven't known too. Like, when do I take, you know, with my queens, should I inject first, or should I drop a tumor first?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So this is the super standard style that was happening every time. So you walk that guy to the 3rd. The guy from the natural, yeah. So there we go.
Okay.
So she's basically going on a journey from the main to the natural and then the 3rd. Alright, then you go to double gas right now. Alright, so this is usually also when you fly in the Overlords into the main base. Something like that. I'm just gonna tell you right now, he currently has a Twilight Council. I'm just telling you because we're focusing on the build. So you see, like, you can now spend all of your larvae comfortably on only drones. That's basically the idea. Alright, I want to start the droning up the third. And then first 100 gas would usually be a lair here. And then when you put down the lair, you also want to go for the roach horn. Roach horn, and then an Evo chamber, and like 2 more gas. Second 100 gas would usually, by the way, be a circling speed as well.
Okay.
Okay, so we see Twilight Council, we see gateways. What could it possibly be? It's likely gonna be Blink All In or something like that. Just make sure you get the extra gases going, because we're a little late on those. And start the circling speed as well, yeah. Alright, so right now we're done droning, you don't need any more. So you see how you got away with basically making non-stop drones?
Until like 8.5 minutes.
Yes. So this is a little over greedy, to be fair though, but it's okay. It's as an example, it's good. Do you want to start your +1 ranged upgrade, or missile upgrade, and then start roach speed as well. So you can decide to go for Hydra Den right here as well if you'd like to, or you can go for Zerglings and roaches.
So that would be like the 2 decisions: Zerglings or.
Yes. So I would definitely start making units right now though, because he could be at your doorstep very soon. I think we're a little over greedy here.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, so make like a lot of roaches, as many as you can. So obviously if you get away with this, you will be in a beautiful position, because you literally got like twice his income. I'll cut a rock if you can. So you can also add some Zerglings here if you run out of gas. Oh, you haven't run out of gas yet, but... Okay, create a big arm of roaches, more roaches. I don't think you need to, well, maybe now, yeah. I think it's fine. Okay, just send them back, don't go off creep with them. Okay, and you might want to remake a queen at the third. Alright, so right now you can push out with, well, I set the queen over. But now, right now you can push out with roach speed and +1 attack. So it's like the same idea as in Zerg for the Zerg, just slightly different timing.
Whoa, how did you get there?
Very good. Okay, so right now you can go for the Infestation Pit and the Hydra Den. I would usually take them around the same time, just to be safe. And a +2 attack as well. So when microing into Blink Stalkers, by the way, try and hug them. Just jump on top of them. Exactly.
I want that immortal. Come here.
There you go. And just still the third. Alright, GG. Well, you can obviously drum behind as well, but...
Okay, that was bad. If you hadn't been there, I would have been caught with my pants down. I would have had something like 90 drones or something like that.
Yeah, so the over-droning is the scary part. That's just a matter of scouting though, and I just did that for the most part. Let's just finish it off and then GG. Or we can just GG right here, it doesn't really matter, you've already won.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So that's actually very good. But that's the idea behind the build order, right? You basically spend all of your larvae early on while slowly tacking up. Or you spend all of your larvae on drones, obviously, and then slowly tack up to you know, getting actual units. Yeah, like actual stuff. That's just about getting that economy early.
Mistakes that game. I over droned a little bit. Like, you're going for 66 drones. Is that the idea? Or not quite that many?
One sec. Yeah, so let's have a quick look at the replay. So, usually decide how many drones you go for by scouting. That's basically it. Like, let's say you fly on Overlord and you see he's going Stargate, right? Like, you know Stargate is not a big deal because he's gonna go Phoenix or maybe like a... I don't know, like a... No, it's really only Phoenix. So you know for a fact that he's not gonna be able to do very much about you getting more drones, right? Like, you just get a Spore Crawl on every base and you just keep on droning. You know what I mean? Like...
Okay.
But let's say he's going for, like, let's say you fly in there, right? And you see he's going for something like this, like Blink Stalker. Or you see him go for, like a Immortal Sentry or something like that. That is really where overdroning is really, really important. Like, to not do. So the basic idea, I guess we can talk about that before the actual scouting. So basically you fly in the Overlord, right? And usually you would fly in one from the natural and one from the main base, or at least the one from the natural. I would say this one is more important. I'll go over in a second why. So usually you would try and get a bigger economy up than Protoss. So let's say you have 60 workers and he has 50. You're gonna have a bigger army the longer the game goes on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely.
So the general idea is to get more workers than your opponent. So usually in how a realistic game would go is if he would go for a Stargate, you scout him going for a Stargate, you can drone up the third base completely like you were doing right there and just get a couple of Spore Crawlers out. However, if he's going for like Immortal Sentry or all in, or you see him go for like Blink Stalker all in, something like that, you would usually only get like maybe 8 to 10 drones at the third base. It's like the same in Zerg for the Zerg. Just so you can start producing non-stop roaches. And maybe add a couple Zerglings in there as well. But just to establish that bigger economy. So I think if like this would have been a perfect execution for Stalker all-in, you would have probably died because you made a little bit too many drones. So usually if you see him go for something super aggressive off of 2 bases, you just make sure you establish that bigger economy by getting about 8 drones or so at the third. And then if you see him go for, you know, something more macro focused, like a Stargate or maybe a quick third himself as well, you can go and drone up completely like you were doing here.
Would you still, if you see the all-in, like a Blink all-in or Immortal Sentry, are you still going for upgrades? And I realized we weren't going 1-1, just the attack upgrade in this case. Is that something also, like, you're not wanting to spend the extra 150 gas on the Carapace upgrade?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like, it's just a little too expensive, I feel like. You can try it out, though. You can go for both. I know players that go for both as well. But yeah, that's exactly it.
If you go for the Hydra Ling style, are you still taking +1 attack, or would you take Carapace or
I would actually take Carapace, yeah. If you go for single Evo, I'd try and go for the one that benefits both of the units.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it really depends. Like, I don't really feel like it makes that big of a difference. Just don't go melee upgrades unless you go, like, plan on going for a switch into Mutaling or something like that.
Okay.
For the most part, you want to go either armor or double upgrades or missile.
Okay.
But yeah, that's really your options. Like, if you go, like, some people like going for like a Ling Hydra timing or like a Ling Roach timing and then switch into Mutas in the meantime. At that point, you can totally like go for some Zergling upgrades as well, but I don't really think that's much of your playstyle anyway.
No, not really.
It might be something you want to try out though.
Okay, but it is viable. Like, if it's something you want to try out.
Yeah, it's totally viable.
Okay.
The idea behind that is basically if you max out on Mutalisk, Protoss cannot stop it. Like Protoss literally has no way to stop it. Do you ever play Mutaling Bane or like Muta versus Protoss in general?
Only like later game tech switches when I managed to pull it off, like single spire attack upgrades, and managed to get like 2 upgrades in when I'm harassing and letting gas build up, and then switch into like 20 Mutalisks or 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I've never done like the Hydraling Muta style or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. If you ever played any Protoss against Mutas, have you done that ever before? Have you ever played it like a Protoss where or you're playing Protoss and a Muta player is, or the Zerg player is going Mutas? If you ever have the chance, give it a try, because as Protoss it's fucking awful to play against Mutas. Like it's really 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 annoying for Protoss. They cannot defend it. They don't know where you're coming from, and it's very difficult. So if you ever get like a lot of Mutas out, just never engage the army. Just go straight for the base, and you win every time. Like you cannot lose a base race with Mutas. If you max out on Mutas, it's game over.
All right, let's
It's good.
let's do that.
Yeah, we can give it a try. It's just a very specific type of game. It doesn't happen too often.
Oh, it is like a specific game in which you're going to go for that style. You're not going to go for it like every game against Protoss.
Well, you can give that a try as well. Well, we can try and play against it. So, well, I wouldn't say it's like the most solid playstyle though. It's mostly like if you get in that situation where you're making high or Mutas. If you get a lot of Mutas, just never attack his army. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Don't directly engage the army with Mutas because you get shreked.
Yeah. Okay. Unless you have like such a big advantage, but generally speaking, you will kill them a lot faster than they can kill you. Especially if you like take base that and base over there. They just cannot stop that.
Okay.
But I would say like that it's just a very specific situation where sometimes you just have a lot of Mutas, and that tends to happen.
For a base trade type thing.
Yeah.
Do your little Muta switch.
Yeah. Yeah, someone in the chat is saying, what if they add on Phoenixes? Just add a couple Corruptors. Like, Corruptors are great. And if they then overcommit to Phoenixes, just switch back to Roach Hydra. It's a silly game, but yeah.
And when the idea of try to be super annoying, like snipe their Stargate pylons and things like that.
Yeah.
Just be the biggest dick you can be.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Like if they overcommit on Phoenixes, you can just go back to Grand Army, and they don't have anything. It's kind of sad for Protoss sometimes because they don't know. Like the tech switches happen very very quickly, and we don't really need to like commit to it nearly as much as like creating 6 Stargates or something like that.
That's the strength of it. Like that's what you should be doing as the game progresses against Protoss. Not sticking with one tech path for too long.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I would like make Roach Hydra though, like you're doing already, like the core play, and then add like little things like that as an option. So let's say for example, right, you do that Roach Link timing. Like let's say in this exact game, right, he was going for Stargate, and you managed to drone up as greedy as you did. You still wanted to move out with the same timing that you did right now with +1 attack and Roach speed, or with Hydra speed, something like that, right? At that point,
speed time attack.
Yeah. So at that point, once you get to the other side of the map, and let's say you do a significant amount of damage, and you are, killing his turret, you can in the meantime throw up a Spire and 6 gases and go for another base. And then you can start switching into a massive amount of Mutalisk. That is completely viable.
And same thing like we were talking in my Zerg games. Like I should be planning that transition, like throwing down the Spire, getting the second base, getting the gases as my army's moving out, correct? Like
yes.
As I'm moving across the map, I'm doing this and forcing him back at his base. I think I've been doing those. I mean, just like they're just too late on the transition. I go and fight the battle and then come back and then start the transition, and it's like
that's too late. Yeah, exactly. You decide that before moving out.
Okay.
We can actually, you could have done it in this game as well, now I think about it. So at some point you like stop that timing, and you stop like the aggression that he's doing, and you scout that he's going for the third. Which would have been a really, really nice moment to decide that. So he does a bunch of aggression, you manage to hold that. God, my computer is not enjoying ×8. Not recently. Alright. Actually, we're a little bit over right now.
It would have been at 10 minutes. Basically, instead of throwing down the hydrogen and the infestation pit like I did, you throw
Yeah.
down Spire.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, exactly.
that's the idea.
I think you did that around 12-ish minutes, something like that. Yeah. So at that point, like let's say right now, right, you get to his other side of the map and you're like, wait a second, he really doesn't have very much. I can likely do enough damage. You could set it up right now. So at that point, you would saturate those gases immediately, go for another base, and drone behind it, and then throw up the Spire, obviously. And at that point, like, you're basically making a decision right now, instead of, like, making it later. To be honest, though, like, your Viper transition timing was, or, like, your Hive transition timing, like you're doing right here, is actually very good. I don't know if you ever do that, by the way, throw the Infestation Pit and the Hydra Den up at the same time.
No, I usually... That's probably why it was so late in the last game. That's never been my instinct. I always throw down... I usually throw down the hydrogen probably way too early and start their upgrades, and then the infestation pit ends up coming way later because I'm spending all my gas on roaches and hydras.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not ideal to throw both at the same time, because it, you know, you can't really use both at the same time. It may just be a good mindset thing to just give that a try and just see how you like that faster transition. So whenever you throw down the Hydra Den, just throw down the Infestation Pit as well.
Okay.
And whenever you're like, well, shit, that's a really fast Infestation Pit, then you also probably don't want the Hydra Den to begin with.
And another reason, I'm usually going +1 armor and attack too, so that extra, especially the +2 armor, is expensive as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's basically it as far as strategies go. Yeah, ideal transition towards something like Midas, which is a little bit more gimmicky, I suppose, and then you can also transition towards Vipers, which should be happening in most of the games.
Okay.
So the one thing I wanted to talk about mainly when playing this is like the Overlord Scout. So there's a couple really important things you can scout from a Protoss player. And usually the one from the natural is more important. And there's one simple reason, it's because the gases are right there.
Okay.
So let's say you fly in this Overlord right there, right? Like this is your only scout in the main base and he has a Stalker standing right there and he kills the Overlord, right? You would literally not know anything about what is going on. Whereas no matter what, on every single map you can always scout the gases. Like an Overlord can always see it. No matter how far it gets in. Like even if a Stalker is standing right there, you will still see the gases, right?
Yep.
And that's basically where you can read their strategy, so to say. So, Protoss, like, it's gonna be valuable as well to know some of the Protoss build orders. The easiest way to learn it, I suppose, is just play Protoss. Or you can lose to certain strategies a bunch of times and be like, well, apparently 3 gases mean this, or like 4 gases at this point means that. Just to give you a general impression of it, I suppose. If you see so the standard timing on these double gases would be about 6.5-ish minutes, is when they usually take double gas.
That's when they take their 3rd and 4th.
Yes.
That's 6.5. Okay.
That's like a super standard timing. Sorry?
That would be like their standard, like, macro timing, whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
So that would be like either a Stargate timing or a robotics timing into a 3rd base, but usually something like that, you know, some sort of higher tech.
Okay.
Now let's say you get in there and you see him take that double gas at like 6 minutes. It will mean that he's stacking up faster, but at the same time that there won't be any real gateway units out because he simply won't have the amount of minerals for that.
Okay.
Do you understand what I mean with that?
Yep.
That's a really important decision to make, because if you see the double gas at 6 minutes, it basically means, well, I'm not gonna move out for a little while longer, make some more drones. Because, well, he simply won't have any minerals to really make an army at that point.
That makes sense. So in looking at your 3rd and 4th gas timings with them, the more gas they take, the earlier on, the less aggression you're going to have.
Exactly.
Because they're going to be teching up. But the later you see those gases, or in this case, like it's 6.5, 6:21, and he's just taking the 1 gas, there's probably some sort of fuckery about.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so let's say you see at 7 minutes there's still no gas up. It's gonna either be like a gateway all-in, or he's just doing something really wonky. And in that case, you may also want to check the 3rd real quick that he didn't take it super early, but at least he's saving up minerals for something.
Okay.
And as a real quick indication, if you see 3 gases, it is pretty much 90% of the time a Blink Stalker all-in. So there could have been literally been like 5 stalkers standing right there, right? You would have poked in, saw 1 gas taken at this point. You can assume already that it's Blink Stalker all in. And that is where Protoss calls Zerg map hack, because you can literally read their strategy off of 1 gas geyser.
Okay, then, so I see, like, so I scout the gases and I see no, I do that at like 6 minutes and I see no gases, or just the 1 gas in this case. Then what is my response? Like, should I throw like a spine down immediately? Is that necessary? Or should I be going for more roaches or lings, or like what's the response then?
So the biggest response that you need to decide is how many drones you think you can get away with. So let's say right now you scout this, right? And you see, okay, well maybe in this situation, if you would have flown it in, you would have already seen the Twilight Council as well, right? So at that point, you can put 1 and 1 together and be like, okay, I see 3 gases in total. I see a Twilight Council. I know it's going to be Blink Stalker all in. And it may take a little while before those kind of things like happen, like take a bunch of losses before that happens, but that's okay.
Yep.
And the real decision that you need to make at that point is how many drones you can make. So like we discussed earlier, like if he's going to go super aggressive and these kind of pushes hit relatively early, you may want to make not a full saturation at the 3rd base because it's just too greedy. So usually you would like get away with maybe 10 drones or something at the 3rd and then start making non-stop army already.
Would the minimum amount of drones be 44 for at least having 4 gases and 2 base mineral saturation? Like, is there a minimum, or is there a case like you can't even get that much, like against a...
Off of 2 base all-ins, I would say a minimum of like 44 and then plus like 8 at the 3rd, something like that.
Okay, so you are going for like pretty much regardless when we take this early 3rd, we're going minimum 2 base saturation, like...
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you get any less than that, right?
It's just not enough.
No, like he's gonna be ahead in economy, and that would suck. Like we always want to have at least some sort of advantage. That's the whole idea behind the 3rd base, to get that economy lead.
Okay.
There's one situation. It's actually good that you mention it. There's one situation where that is true, and there is where you poke in with this guy right here, and you see he's only got 1 gas in the main. I don't know if you ever played against that, and if you know what it like means.
That's like that's the 4 or 5 gate, right?
Yeah, or sometimes even like 7 or 8 gates, something like that. And that's where you're like super careful. You go for like immediate roach warren and just start pumping out roaches, because you know like 1 gas Protoss is too little.
Yeah, what about your 3rd in that case? Are you just gonna sack it, or are you gonna try to defend it, or what would you do? Like if I poke in here and there's the 1 gas, so we know that the all-in is coming basically immediately.
I would probably try and like spread creep in between them so I can try and save it and like micro back against the zealots, something like that. But if I have to sack the 3rd, that's okay, because okay. you won't have drones there anyway. Like maybe a couple, but
okay.
So that's basically what you're trying to look for. So yeah, gas geysers tell their strategy. It's kind of cute as well as like at the highest level. Like if you watch any of the pro games, a lot of the pro gamers try and like, they know that Zerg scouts like that. Like they know they see the gases, so they on purpose get, you know, extra gas going and just warp it 4 more sentries than they need, or like silly things like that, and casters never catch it. But that's like that's really what happens at the highest level of play. At this level, you can definitely assume though that is not happening, and that everyone is just trying to play a super efficient style. So there's no way they would go for like a Blink Stalker all in off of like 2 gas or 4 gas. It just doesn't happen. It's all about like getting that 3rd gas up and playing super efficient.
Okay.
And that's just sort of the one decision, or like the one like scary thing I suppose to decide. So yeah, I think that basically covers all of ZVP.
Yeah, that's a really good overview. That's exactly, but that kind of thing is exactly what I needed. Like 1 scout better than when you do, what do I look for? And this tells me it. So that's really good. That's very helpful.
Cool. Yeah. So prioritize getting an overload in the natural over getting an overload in the main base. If you can only choose one, get the natural. If you're not sure, get both.
Yeah, I'd rather scout too much than not scout enough at this point. If I start scouting too much, I can tone it down.
There's no scouting too much. Well, unless you like run in an overload every 2 minutes for like no reason. Like, well, there's still that 1 stalker there. Like,
yeah.
But yeah. So 6 minutes, double overload scout. I would just try and get it. I'll actually write it down as well. Double overload scout. until the point where you feel comfortable to go back to 1 Overlord Scout, but double Over Scout is generally better. I try and go for 2 almost every time, at least. Unless you start your life and you get like, or KT life and you get Zerglings in every single time somehow. Do you watch a lot of Pro StarCraft or no?
Yeah, I do. I pretty much all I watch. Like your stream, Fenner's stream, and then like any other stream or WCS, whatever that's going on.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because every single like European and North American Zerg plays like this, but then for some reasons, like KT Life, he just doesn't even position Overwatch right there.
You can't take anything from him and like try to apply it to your own game. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it.
But he literally doesn't even position Overlord right there or right there. He just doesn't do it. He just banks on the fact that he gets the Zergling in no matter what. It's really confusing. I don't really know how, but...
I like, yeah, because what he's got there, like, there's not I know I'm not going to get a scout up front. Like, I don't even know how that would be. I have no clue either. It
happens every time. But yeah, those kind of players are hard to read. If you see any kind of European playstyle or something like that, like a Snoot or like a TLO or something, they will do something very similar to this.
Cool. Good deal.
At the very least, like, you know, it should improve the game a lot. So yeah, decide the transitions before they happen. Go for a third base a bit faster if you see that they go for a very quick natural. And like, scout very heavily about what is going on and what you need to defend. And then, from what you scouted, decide how many drones you can get away with. That's basically it.
And then the number of queens. 'Cause I feel like I make that mistake sometimes. Like I spend too much on queens and my drone count ends up lacking. So you're building... Your first queen comes at your main, you inject with it, and then move it to the natural, and then you build another queen at the main immediately after. And then at your natural, you'll inject with the queen that you move down, and then at that inject, you make another queen at the natural, and then the next one is creep tumor. Basically, 2 injects and then a creep tumor. That's your order with the first queen that pops.
Exactly.
And then she ends at the third base, and then you've made an additional queen at the main and natural, so you've got 3 queens total.
Yes, yes. You can get away with 4 or 5 as well if you'd like to, but that's exactly it.
But at that point, it depends. But that's for the at least the opening of the game. Like that's your general. That's how you want to move that queen.
Yeah, that's how Stefano always used to do it, and it's just sort of stick with that.
It's good enough for Stefano. It's good enough for my little diamond ladder.
I don't know if like if any of the programmers do it exactly in that order. I'm sure there's like some variations they do, but at the very least, like remembers or it like reminds me to connect my natural and my third base. It's the worst when you have like a bunch of zealots at your third and you just cannot micro your roaches back. You know, like you need that creep.
Like, and it's good just to have a set way of doing it. Like I know there's variations for it, but I've never had a set way of doing it. You know, now this is. So that's good. It's good. It's just another part of play to tighten up.
Yeah, and it the reason also why you take that queen from the main to the natural and then to the third is because of there's like one timing that is relatively common is like a zealot and a stalker and a mothership core that move out.
Yep.
And you may not see that too often if you take the third base as late as you were doing in the replay because they're terrified of Zergling speed and whatnot. But if they see you take the super quick third base at like 4 minutes, they know you won't have Zergling speed anytime soon. So you see that move out every now and then the queen actually gets there right when the stalker gets there. And, you know, then the actual creep tumor also allows you to pull that queen that you made from the natural then to also move that to the third base. So it like lines up really nicely.
So you can use them to defend. Yeah, I've had that happen. You have no creep in between and you can't move a queen over.
It's the worst.
Just dies. Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's a little bit more reasoning behind it you know, besides just it looking cute and working out well, there's like, you know, actual use to it. So it's very efficient, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the queen management. If you see, for example, he goes for a Stargate, you can definitely add on like 2 more queens. Like queens are great against everything for defending as well. Yeah, a queen 1-on-1 wins versus a stalker. It loses against a zealot, so that's also something very useful to know. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Just if you micro the queen, you're better against a zealot, but 1-on-1 loses against a zealot, beats a stalker. What about a mothership core if they're both at full health?
You win with the queen as well.
Okay.
So Queen owns a Stalker, it owns a Mothership Core, it gets wrecked by a Zealot. So if you see only one Stalker or a Zealot, or one Stalker and a Mothership Core, you don't need to worry. If you see a Zealot, like run the natural Queen to the third as well.
Okay.
And you can do some shuffling as well. Let's say he sends in a Stalker first and he tries and pick away, just like shuffle the one from the main to the third and then from the third to the main. Like it's a bit of a management, but it makes it a little bit easier. Or just make it early. Just like a fourth Queen early. That's totally fine as well.
Okay. Yeah, make like the fourth Queen at your third or something like that. Now you do there. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I really like playing this style against like quick Nexus, because it makes little cute things like that really fun.
Good.
Like you can play this 1,000 times and there's still room for improvement, you know?
Good. Now I have like a plan. I have like a set sequence of things.
That's good. That's good, yeah. Let's just play another against Drone Rush and see if we can
okay.
Make it work.
See how much I've retained. I'm gonna refill my water real quick.
Sure.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so I'm just asking Drone Rush to go for another strat. Is Drone Rush a player or a program? No, he's a person. He's in the chat as well. I know his name sounds kind of like a like a bot, but it's not quite.
Using the map hacks. Apparently, one of the top NAGMs, Patch Toss or something like that, or Patch Protoss, was caught using third-party hacks.
I heard that, yeah, and apparently it was streaming as well, and it like wasn't getting picked up by OBS or something like that. It's like
that's what happened. It did the build drones audio reminder got through or something. Oh, oops. Yes.
So dirty, man. I can't literally not have any respect for any kind of cheating at all. Like it's... Ugh.
He had alt accounts that were like rank 3, rank 5, 11, 13 or something. Like he was taking up a bunch of spaces. Like that's a lot.
It's so silly. I don't know, man. It happens every now and then that someone gets caught, but they seem to always get caught. Well, except we don't hear about the people that don't get caught, I suppose. It's kind of scary, but... Yeah, whatever. Cool. Alright, let's do this.
Game on.
So I asked him to go for a specific strat. And I'm not gonna like talk too much about it. Just let me know if you have any questions.
Okay.
Look, are you Dutch? Yeah, I am. I'm all the way off the other side of the world for Matt.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. What time is it over there right now? Is it like 3 afternoon or something? Like 3 p.m.?
It is 1:45.
Oh, well, you're even further away.
Yeah, I think it's like...
It's 9 hours. Yeah, it's 9.
Oh, damn.
It's crazy.
It's more than I thought.
Oh, no, actually, no. It's 8:45. Never mind. Oh, it's still far away.
Yeah, 7 hours. Still quite a bit. I've been to Europe once. I went in high school. I stayed in Berlin with a family there for a month. That was fun.
Oh, cool.
I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
It's funny how people from Europe always want to go over to America, and then people from America always want to go over to Europe. I'd like to go to the US at some point. It'd be cool. Hoping to be at BlizzCon like at the end of the year.
That would be cool. I've never been.
I heard it's amazing. Yeah, so just send the drone early in this situation. Just send it right now. That's cool. I actually quite like this drone scout. I never do it. Get a lot of info.
I haven't done it. I went through a, let's see, nothing. I went through a period where I didn't drone scout at all, and I've started doing it again, and I kind of like it. It seems to be, it's improving my APM some and my multitasking.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And just general not getting caught to bullshit.
Yeah, I like it. You, by the way, go for an overload usually at 14 here, but yeah. Just a subtle thing. And send your third overload to their third. Always works here as well. In Zerg Protoss, yeah. So Queen Zerglings. And then sort of guide the drone to the third.
Oh shoot, need Zerglings.
So do make sure you send this guy from the natural, like the overlord, to the back of their main. Don't forget about it.
Back to my main?
Oh, back to his main, sorry.
Oh, okay.
So you can like, yeah, fly it in.
Yeah, something like right here.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So don't take the third yet, or at least like not until you know the probe is gone. It's good to keep pros guessing. Even if it just forces them to delay their strategy slightly, it's worth it. Okay, and just go for the third right now, you're good. And then you can start the queens. Cool. Europe is so clean and nice, isn't it? That's what a lot of Americans say. I don't know. Apparently Europe is clean. Cool, I like it. Oh yeah, a big giveaway for strategy is also the 4th upgrade, by the way. He's not, I don't think he was getting any, no, but it's just a big giveaway later in the game. Like if you see the big wheel turning thing, then you're good. We're really low on supply, by the way. We want to get some more drones going. Yeah. Cool. So if you play it perfect, 550 would hit 44 supply.
550 is 44 supply.
Yep. Yeah, so usually you would hit this like before 6 minutes, but fair enough. Well spotted. That's really important. Yeah, so definitely find that probe. And any pylons it might put down. It's a very good minimap vision so far. Don't forget about the flying of the Overlord. And the Roach Warren. So you see him take the gases already, right? He's got it up for a little while, I think. Oh, you see in the minimap? Cool. So right now you saw, okay, early gases. He's trying to put down proxy pylons. Likely not gonna be Stargate at that point. That's basically the way you should be thinking here.
Okay, so we're gonna do these two saturated, and that's it. So as soon as this pop, I'm done making drones right now. Because I know something's coming.
Yeah, you can probably make like a couple more at the third. I don't know how many there are at the third currently. Oh, nice. That helps a lot. Yeah, good. Yeah, so you can get like a couple more at the third. Usually like 6 or so more, and then it's done.
Whoa, whoa. Get over there.
Another very important timing to know, by the way, is the very latest you would see a Protoss third base would be 9.5 minutes. Usually before that. Usually before like 7.5, but... Okay, so non-stop units right now. So poop some creep on it as well if you can. Alright, so you saw him put down proxy pylons. You saw early gases. It's a pretty dead giveaway of what's happening now. So when you run out of gas, by the way, just add on Zerglings. That's the idea behind the Zerglings.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see what that guy sees.
Bunch of sentries. Immortal sentry, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep, there it is. That's probably scout.
So right now it's 57 Harvesters versus 45. So you're actually gonna be ahead no matter what. Like if you just make non-stop army here, it should be an easy cleanup. Just keep an eye out on the third. And make overlords.
Shit.
Alright. Look around for any more proxy pylons if you don't have anything to do. Oh, you're actually doing that. Good. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so usually you wouldn't even bother attacking into him right now, you know? You would just wait. Yeah, his push is really late, though. He said he hasn't done this in a long time, so... Go see. Yeah, just keep the overlords up. You have a tendency to make too little overlords when... It's the same as we saw last week in Zerg for Zerg.
Man.
Yeah, that happens.
Mac, please.
Roaches are heavy. Someone in the chat said, I can't believe you're still streaming. Yeah. It's been about 8 hours. That's cool. Yeah, so you can make a lot of roaches here. His push is super late. Usually this one would push around 9-ish minutes, but...
Yeah, I'm kind of like...
Yeah, it makes you confused about what's happening, but it's just...
Yeah, like, what's going on? Like, there it is. Oh, okay, there it is.
Well, we can spend a lot more, though. We could have had so much more. Yeah, there we go.
Ah, macro. Okay.
Yeah, so if you're in this situation, you would usually add on a macro hatch as well. Very good. Yeah, just wait for reinforcements. It's fine. Or if you can pick off a free sentry, that's fine.
Get in there.
Cool.
Okay. Wow, okay, macro was super bad.
Yeah, well, fair enough. It wasn't super bad. It definitely was. There was room for improvement, but it wasn't awful.
Supply blocks and money spinning. That's probably from chit-chatting. Well, a little bit. I'm not going to say it's all from that. But okay, but the third base is something... I get stuck in, like, I guess the same mindset as I do versus Terran, where, like, third base going down at, like, 6 or 6:20, and I need to be taking it a lot earlier. That's already...
Mm-hmm.
That's a good improvement. And dropping the 1 upgrade, as long as I just spend my money.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the approach right there in the game was solid. Overlord Scout was good. I don't know if, like, I did most of the Overlord Scouting there. I just took the information that you saw and, like, sort of told you about what could happen. Mm-hmm. But that's something you just learned from losing to it a lot, you know? Like, let's say you lost this game and you would look back at the replay and you're like, well, shit, I actually assumed he was going Stargate. Try and look for things that could have told you that it wasn't going to be Stargate, you know?
Okay.
One dead giveaway, for example, would be the proxy pylon. Like, he's trying to put up proxy pylon since, like, the 4.5 minute mark or something like that. Like, he's sending out probes constantly to try and get them out.
Yeah, that was tingling my spider senses. That I like when I see the proxy pylons in the probe, that's always like something's about to hit. Mm-hmm. It was kind of confusing. Like his push was so late. Like,
yeah,
where is it?
Yeah, there's a couple other builds that they can do off of that. I would say Blank Stalker and Immortal Sentry are the most common ones. Usually you would see them try and take a third base, and that's what I was trying to say as well. Usually, like, no matter what, okay? No matter what, if you don't see them take a third base between like 9 and 9:30, something like that, just start non-stop army, no matter what. Because there's like, either they have a hidden base, which you will need to look for, or they got like some sort of weird ass all-in incoming and you just make non-stop army no matter what.
Okay. And it's usually roaches and lings for the most part, with a transition plan for something.
Yeah, exactly. If you see him like not move out by like 11 minutes or something, you can already start to transition to the hive just in case it's like Colossus all-ins, which are super uncommon, but yeah.
Because if you're like in that situation, you're massing roaches and lings, which are super supply heavy. So you're going to be maxed out. Like you said, if you see nothing by 11 minutes, like you're probably already maxed out. So start teching up.
Yeah, start decking up, start throwing away some army, and start figuring out what the heck is going on. But that's so uncommon, like that generally doesn't happen.
Okay.
Alright, cool. Alright, let's play another one.
Cool.
But this is good. This is good progress.
Yeah, these are good notes. These are things that I need to know. Things I need to commit to memory.
The thing about Zerg vs Protoss is that it's so much more mechanical than Zerg vs Terran. Like in Zerg vs Terran, you can play beautifully, and then they just have a Widow Mine hit, or like you engage off creep a little bit too early and your banelings die. Like, you know, silly shit like that.
And then you're done. You get
Yeah.
once the steal starts, so the parade march.
yeah, exactly. In Zerg vs Protoss, it's a lot more about like mechanical skill and just straight up macro. There's no real reason for errors, you know, like you shouldn't be making mistakes in these games. Because it's just straight up macro. Anyway, I'll switch out there. All right, let's go.
All right.
Well met.
I've given up trying to drone stack on this. I don't know where they're supposed to go. I don't know where the quick ones are, and I just end up screwing myself up.
Yep.
Done.
It's the worst when you try to drone stack and then you look at your minerals and you're like 80 minerals. You're like, oh shit. Could have just made a fucking drone earlier and it would have like been more efficient.
Yep. You try to drone stack, and like I try my hardest to get it, and they keep getting off, and I put my pool down, and it's like 205 or 200 or something like that. I'm like, well, shit.
I just given up on that. I just look at the Twitch stream chat instead. Like,
That's probably more efficient.
Yep. Is that your 10th drone, by the way, or like your 12th drone or something that you scout with?
Usually 12, I think.
Okay. Like the two after the Overlord. Something like that.
Yeah. I do 9 drone scout on if it's a random.
Oh, okay.
Just so I can figure out what they are. But I usually drone scout Terran and Protoss on number 12.
Okay. Alright. So now we need to change up things a little bit.
Okay, so gate expand.
So right now it's gate expand, right? Which means you've got to be very careful taking a third base, and would likely not take it for another while. So this is basically the other half of the game you will see on the ladder. Yeah, so these are probably the games where you're a little bit more comfortable. Because it's so exactly the style that you play most of the time. Yeah. That queen skip was unnecessary.
Yeah,
this style you can wing it a little bit more, I suppose, in these situations. So basically right now only really part of what we talked about is going to be true. It's mainly going to be the Overlord scouts and like figuring out what you see.
Okay.
And now you just play the style that you basically played yourself. And obviously take the gases earlier. So once again, you should hit 36 supply at 5 minutes exactly. Very nice. I like that. Okay, I'll just stop it right here. Just stop it right here, and you can hang out too.
Okay, so I see no gas in the main, so I'm double gassing at 5 minutes right now.
Yep. And try and poke up with the Zerglings as well in this ramp. Definitely want to be a bit faster on the larva though, yeah. To see if you can see something. Even if it's just okay, there's a forge and a gateway. All good. Let's see if there's any 4 gateways down. Very unlikely, but okay. Don't forget about the gases. So still on 1 gas actually. Kind of interesting. So you may want to commit to something like a spine crawler or a faster roach warren or something like that. Just because I would be a little worried. So generally speaking, gateways or warp gates finish up around 6:30-ish.
Do I want, like, this first 100 gas? I know it's late right now, but would that be layer first or link speed first?
If you're not Overlord scouting and you see like something wonky's going on, I would probably go Zergling speed first, yes.
Okay.
Just because it's safer, you know, like you don't really know, like, okay, he's adding on extra gas, is that a gas geyser in the natural? Or what is that? Yeah, so you may have gotten away here with a lair as well, but it's just like, be smart about it, you know, like don't let it decide because of a build order, like decide it because of a strategy. And like what you scout. Now we're gonna go for the Evo chamber as well. And now you can start thinking about the 3rd base. So you see, like, instead of like following a very strict routine, you just sort of decide what's happening by scouting and like figuring out what he's up for. So I don't know why he's never taking that gas. Oh, there we go.
Okay, I know he's got that one.
Okay. So right now it's very important to know if he's taking a 3rd base, and if not, how many drones you can get away with at your 3rd base. So definitely get the 3rd started. I think we could have started a little earlier. Yeah, and we'll need the extra drones in the main. Yeah, cool. And a roach speed as well. So just in case, I would pretty much always get a overseer right now at home. And just put it on the hotkey, yeah. Got them Protoss. And just start like a lot of army. Or a lot of roaches. Cool. So it's basically the same idea, but it's just, yeah, executed slightly different.
Okay.
So once again, 9 minute, 9:30-ish is still the standard time for a 3rd base. Off of Protoss. I would try and get a couple of drones going at the 3rd if you can. So maybe like 4 or so in this scenario. Just to get that superior economy. Oftentimes you can even get that in the main base and like have 18 to 20 drones mining over there and then move them over. But that's just an idea. Alright. So we see gateways finishing up. Chrono boosting gateways. Make non-stop army. Try and get some cruise threat going. I would probably even move the spine over as well to the 3rd. If he's gonna attack, it's likely gonna be your 3rd. Oh, there we go. Try and lure him on creep if you can. This is risky because now you have a hard time retreating, yeah. Very good. Okay. I'd be very careful doing that though. I would probably just back up into the spine if you can. Yeah. But there we go. So now you can drone. Now you can drone hard. As many drones as you would like. Just kill this proxy pylon. I've made that mistake 100 times. Where the pylon is up. Oh, okay, well, fair enough. You got a spine over there, so it's okay. Just drone up the third completely, and now you can start transitioning towards a hive and infestation pit and whatever. So at this point, it's basically game over as long as you play out correctly from here. Just because you have that big economy. Oh, I do see a proxy pylon on the minimap, by the way. Yeah. Terran music is so good in this game. I love seeing idle probes at their third base. You see the minimap? Like there's a bunch of idle shit over there. Oh, there's something in the main.
Whoops.
Something in the main, something in the main, something in the main. Yeah, good. Oh, wow, that was unnecessary. You kill one of your own drones. That's okay. Cool. And drone behind, keep on droning, and start attacking up as well. Very good.
No! Gotcha. Okay, you come here.
Alright. And even in a situation, like if you know he's taking a third, you can consider going for a fort yourself. And I would probably just leave my army at the main base, to be honest, like there's no reason to send it back. Okay.
Supply block. What am I doing?
Well, if you're gonna get supply blocked, this is the perfect timing for it, though. Well, we are a little bit low on workers, though. I think you could have gotten away with more, yeah. I already thought we actually had some more. Okay, make a big round of drones and try and now, yeah, okay, now we're at a good amount. And like, right now you can start adding on actual, like, units. Don't forget about the Vipers either. About 3 or so is good. Yeah, 4, that's cool. Okay. And now non-stop army. Very solid. So, like a half Hydra, half Roach.
Carapace or anything?
I would go +3. Yeah, +3 is so much better here.
Okay.
Very solid macro, by the way, so far, though. Except for the couple supply blocks, like spending and whatnot is going great. So you see, like, you're basically ready for every timing he has. Like, right now he's moving again, you see? You see the Viper timing? Like, it's perfect here.
Yep.
You seem to be moving out again, and whether or not, like, it's Immortal or Archon or Colossus, it's all good. You'll still be able to counter it.
How did you guys get over there?
Yeah, just max out now. We can max out here. Very good. Oh well, look at the fourth, look at the fourth. Cool.
Actually, no.
Are we sending army? Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, on this map that's easier to take. Fair enough. Okay, where's the Vipers, by the way?
Oh yeah, come here.
Well, you need those real bad. If you get caught behind force field right now, you're screwed. Yeah. Cool. Let's grab everything together and just keep moving from there. Losing that fort is kind of a frustrating thing. Just hit the abductor, you're good. Alright, let's go.
Oh no. Should I have that?
You can have him, you can have him. Put the Vipers behind your main army, by the way. Don't put them like this, yeah. Just like that, exactly. And now you can move them forward. So you always abduct into your army. Okay, abduct the Colossus and you're good. Very good. And reinforce with more. Oh man, he actually walked back one of the Colossus. Oh, you could abduct another time. Yeah, look, see? I didn't die.
Actually.
Oh, okay, I thought you actually lost all the Vipers. I was like, oh shit, what happened? Okay, cool.
Oh, no, I sent them back to refill, but they don't really need the energy.
No, you had them full energy there. They got like 8 abducts. Yeah, so we lost a lot more than we needed to. Usually you want to try and be very careful with that, because they just oftentimes have the Colossus on a separate hotkey and move them back. So you can have them, you can just abduct them a second time. Okay. Get the Vipers, get the Vipers. Very good. Okay. Abduct. We have one more abduct. Okay, get some more roaches if we can. Yeah. Yeah, I think you can just keep the Vipers a little closer and just abduct the Colossus multiple times. You're all good.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I think you can be a bit more confident in your aggression here. Just set up a concave, abduct the Colossus multiple times, and you will win this every time. There we go. Okay, just be ready for the abduct. Abduct 2. Very good. Okay, if you can, a blinding cloud would be nice as well, yeah. Okay, keep producing more army. Another abduct. Very good. Very good.
Okay.
I think you can be more aggressive. Whenever you have like these massive armies out, you tend to sit back a little bit more and give him a lot of time. Like he had time to get all the way up to Storm right here, right? Which is scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair enough. I think you can just go in as soon as you have that big army and the larvae are ready to go and the energy on the Vipers. You can just keep on pushing and you should take it a little bit more convincingly than that. But
okay.
Very clean game all in all though. Yeah, not much to complain about except that. Wasn't Blinding Cloud better than Abduct in that situation? No. Blinding Cloud is only good if there's like no Colossus. Colossus are the ones that deal the damage in that army. The rest is all less important.
Some minor gameplay stuff. Shouldn't have sent the Vipers back like I did. Especially the first time around when they had all that energy. I lost a bunch of that first army kind of unnecessarily.
Yeah, exactly. You had like full energy on them. It was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, I did. I'm used to like panicking and having to get them out really quick and have just enough energy for one abduct and like. So yeah.
Yeah, so right now you got them way earlier than you were used to probably. And it makes your supply a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that, but your supply count was a little bit lower than you would probably be comfortable with. But like it catches up very quickly. Like you're at 140 for a little while because you're getting the Vipers and because they're so expensive. But then all of a sudden you just max out immediately. Yeah, and obviously losing the fort a bunch of times was unnecessary as well. But
that could have been, yeah, if I'd have just put some static D down, it would have been fine. Left a couple
or even like just leave 4 roaches or something. It's gonna require like a lot of multitasking and like back and forth micro, but I think you can handle that just fine. But like strategy wise, this was pretty much spot on. Like can't really complain.
Okay.
Yeah, and where you, by the way, took your fourth the second time around is usually the way you go if you play Roach Hydra Viper on that map because it's easier to defend. Like, the Zala run-bys are annoying, but...
Yeah, better to take the first one.
Yeah. That's all, like, if you play Mutaling Bane, I would take the other one on the top right corner, but that's just very map dependent.
Okay.
Yeah, was energy on everything on the Vipers. Cool. What's his best matchup? It's actually 50-50 in pretty much in every single one. Well, close to 50-50. You can actually see it on the screen right now, dude. It's right there. So 50-50 in pretty much every single one. But good.
I don't know. I have no idea how much time we have. I don't even know when we started.
Yeah, it's been about a minute or an hour and 40.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to discuss either. That's kind of the thing I'm thinking about here.
Yeah, this has been real good. The notes are really good for this one. I've got a lot to go off of, a lot of stuff to commit to memory.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. Plenty to practice.
Yeah, like more aimed practice than just mindlessly grinding ladder. And a lot of the things actually carry over perfectly as well to Legacy of the Void, so it doesn't really matter too much. Like the scouting still goes the exact same way, obviously, and you know, Gateway Expander, Forge Fast Expander are still the common ones, so you can totally rely on this in Legacy as well.
I'm totally digging in Legacy that all the matches seem to be much more dynamic. Like when you're at Protoss, especially with their disruptors and things like that, like little micro things can swing the battle. I like that. It's not so much like, well, he has more workers than he does, so it'll be done in about 4 minutes from now or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
The skillful player wins every time in Legacy of the Void. Yeah. Unless they go Dark Templar or something. But
and the economy at the beginning is so much more fun, too, than just this, like, 3 or 4 minutes of mindlessness.
Yeah. I had a really epic game just now against a Terran. Did you see that?
Yeah,
by any chance?
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was like literally every unit that Zerg has. it's like, well, what else can I go for here? It's really cool. Like every unit is actually being used, you know? It's really nice.
Wasn't that the one where he had like 100 APM? Only 100 APM or something?
Yeah, but he had like 15-second supply block in like an hour-long game. It was quite impressive.
You just like switch through everything. Like we're gonna run the whole flavor of Zerg here.
Yeah, but everything is viable, you know. Like there's no weak unit. I mean, I guess they technically changed the Corruptor back, but the Corruptor actually has some proper use right now. I'm a little disappointed they did that, but yeah, fair enough.
It's still early in the cycle, I guess, for the meta to get established, but I like that it's more free-flowing, it seems. That's cool.
A lot of the units, like, they just like reward the player that's playing better. Like, you can't just aim. Well, obviously, Roach Hydra is still Roach Hydra, right? But Lurkers especially, they require so much skill. Like, there's gonna be people out there that will, like, get so much done with a Lurker. It's insane.
Yep. They wreck face hard.
Yeah. There's gonna be that one Korean dude that will, like, micro Lurkers so good that he will win games off of, like, 5 Lurkers even though he's 100 supply behind. Like, that's literally gonna happen. There's sick stuff you can do with it.
Like, load up with, like, 6 or 7 Overseers or something like that, and then drop all of the little Zealot clones so it funnels the army down one choke, and just have, like, your one hero Lurker just take the whole army out.
Yeah, something dumb like that. Like, something that shouldn't work, but will still work. Yeah. Like, it's a simple unit design, but it works really well. Yeah, it's gonna take 3-4 years for Legacy of the Void Mage to become consistent. I don't know if it's gonna take that long. I mean, Heart of the Storm has been very consistent for a long time, but yeah, Heart of the Storm is also getting new strategies added to it every now and then. So yeah, it's hard to say. Like, a minor patch could completely change things up as well. I'm really liking at least the direction it's headed in.
Yep, I agree.
It's like we talked about with, like, Life, right? Who just gets shit done with Zerglings somehow, and nobody manages to copy it. That's totally gonna be the case in Legacy of the Void as well. Like, it completely rewards the better player.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to copy professional strats like that because it's so technique dependent. Yeah,
and there's so much metagaming happening as well. At some point, you will have, like, a smaller group of pro gamers. Like, it's already happening in Heart of the Swarm right now. There's only so many people. And they've already played so often against each other that they know exactly how they scout. Like, for example, the gas timings we talked about just now. People just on fucking purpose taking double gas in a natural at 5:30 and just putting 2 probes in each instead. Like, what happens then? Like, you know, what exact scout timing do I go for if I know that my opponent takes double gas at 5:30 in the natural and I puts 2 probes in there? Like, how can I calculate that as Zerg? Like, what happens? And people just messing around on purpose.
Yep, and he knows that. They know what his strat if he goes for this, and then it's just like this whole like circle jerk basically where they're doing
exactly. There's a lot more to it than just you know, a couple of units bashing head at the end of the game, and then one player getting ahead at that point. Like,
Yeah,
life was
ZVZ
still
is way more fun. It's way more fun than just mindless like roaches volleying at each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they will likely buff the Ravager again at some point. I wouldn't like there was so many there's so many cool things you could do with Ravager's early game in Zerg for Zerg. Basically, people would skip out Banelings altogether and just go Zergling Ravager because of the splash damage that Ravagers can do. But they will likely buff them at some point again, which changes up the early game completely again in Zerg for Zerg as well. It's gonna be real cool. Life will still wreck Face and Legacy of the Void. Yep, he will. This is exactly his game, dude. Don't even need to focus on macro, just micro units. It feels a lot like Warcraft 3. It's quite cool.
Yeah, and the smaller matches in general, your anti-deathball units that they have in now.
Yeah.
It's cool. There's definitely room for improvement, but the direction is definitely solid.
Mm-hmm.
It's heading in a good direction.
It's been very good, yeah. Yeah, I believe we have one more coaching session next week, Saturday, right?
Yep, that's what I was about to get to. Saturday, same time, or right about then. If you're streaming,
Yeah.
I'll be in chat like
Yeah,
an
I'll be
hour
here.
too early.
Yeah, I'll be here. No worries.
Okay.
Cool, man.
Sounds good. This was a good one. I got a lot out of this one.
Yeah, I'm glad, man. I'm glad. Yeah, good to be helping, and definitely some room for improvement here, or at least like smarter practice than just grinding the ladder.
Yep. Or at least if I am like having things to focus on, knowing what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Even just going for that quicker third expansion should already change up a lot.
Yeah, that's like you said. In like 50% of the Protoss games I play, it's going to be completely different.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Let me know how it goes. And once again, like if you have a replay you want me to take a look at, just drag and drop it on Skype, and I'll have a look at it ASAP.
Cool, will do. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Yep. Bye.